if I told you there was a game where you could physically enter the mind of an alcoholic and help them cope with past trauma? A game where you could step inside the mind of a gambling addict and rewire their brain to help them play more responsibly. A game where the enemies you fight are regrets, doubts, bad ideas, and panic attacks. Turns out, there is such a game where you can do all of this and so much more, all packaged up in the form of a 3D platformer with an incredible art style and a story that just might encourage you to take a deeper look inside your own mind. Welcome to Casual Perspective, Hayden here, and today, it is my pleasure to take you on a trip through the quirky minds of Psychonauts 2.
Oh, you think the human mind is safe? Well, that's cute.
A few months ago, I binged my way through the incredible Double Fine Psych Odyssey series, a 33-episode documentary detailing the making of Psychonauts 2. Psych Odyssey gave such a raw glimpse into modern game development, it's unlike anything I've ever seen. Highly recommend checking it out if you have any interest in how games are made. I played Psychonauts 2 on release, but seeing what the Double Fine team went through to get it made just inspired me to jump back in for another look, and I'm glad I did. In Psychonauts 2, you play as Raz, the newest intern at the Psychonauts headquarters and the same protagonist from the first game. The main idea of Psychonauts is to accomplish an objective by entering the minds of various characters, with each mind acting as its own level in the game. Every mind is creative as hell, with a really strong theme and setting. Like most platformers, Psychonauts minds are full of secrets and collectibles to gather as you work your way through the level. Things like figments of the imagination, emotional baggage that needs sorting, nuggets of wisdom and memory vaults. Plenty to keep you busy while you work through the main objective of the mind. Raz is a powerful psychic with multiple mental abilities at his disposal. Things like telekinesis, levitation, pyrokinesis, clairvoyance, and more. These abilities are used to fight enemies, complete platforming, and solve puzzles inside minds as well as in the real world. The whole thing is packaged up in an art style unlike anything else out there, with a narrative that has no business being as impactful as it is. On the surface, this is a fun, almost childish platformer, but under the hood is a very adult story and some heavy themes.
Wait, what's a body? Aren't we all one?
That's a criminally undercooked summary of everything going on in the game, but what I really want to highlight here are the minds themselves and all the cool shit going on. From this point forward, you will be exposed to some juicy spoilers, so spoiler alert, pussy. Jumping right in, we have Loboto's Labyrinth, the one with the teeth. This acts as a tutorial level and gets you acquainted with the controls, combat, collectibles, and the first few psychic abilities. The jump in setting from boring 9-to-5 desk job to mouth, dentist, corporate office hybrid is really cool and unique in that special Psychonauts way. The mission here is for the Psychonauts agents to find out who hired Dr. Loboto to kidnap Truman Zanotto, the grand head of the Psychonauts. Loboto's mind is littered with posters of watching eyes and messages about not snitching or being a rat. By the end of the level, you discover that all of this is here because Loboto was threatened by the person who hired him to keep his mouth shut, or else.
You'll have to deal with her.
Yeah, I'd be scared of that bitch too. This mind is pretty standard as far as gameplay goes, with the real highlight being the environment itself. Really sets the tone right away for the kind of crazy shit you're gonna see in this game. Solid start to the adventure ahead. Oh, and Mr. Pokelope is here, so 10 out of 10.
Mr. Pokelope!
Moving along, we have Hollis's Hot Streak. Hospital and casino and mind rewiring.
Oh my!
Raz accidentally rewires Hollis's brain into a gambling addiction in the previous level, and now you gotta get in there and fix that shit before an important Psychonauts mission is compromised. The mix of hospital and casino themes in this one is sick as fuck. There's a ton to do, like a pachinko machine, cleverly dubbed the Palinko machine, betting on a race inside a heart monitor that you participate in, fixing a baby-making roulette wheel, and this insanity of a boss.
You pee your pants!
Gradually rewiring Hollis's mind with mental connection is awesome, and you get little nuggets of dialogue indicating that she's getting healthier.
Sometimes you need to know when it's time to pass the baton.
Pretty neat level with a lot of gameplay variety. Also, the section after you exit Hollis's mind to complete the mission in the real world is pretty cool. This next mind might be my favorite in the whole game in terms of gameplay and fun factor. This is Compton's Cookoff. You're a contestant in a cooking/game show hybrid, and you have to navigate this maze of a set to prepare ingredients and cook different meals for the ever so judgmental judges.
fat, useless sack of fucking Yankee-danky doodle shite.
This is a cool mix of platforming, strategy, and time management, with the meals needing to be prepared correctly and on time in order to unlock collectibles. It's like a 3D platforming Overcooked, and that's awesome.
God, Overcooked is so fucking fun. I love that shit.
The story here is Raz is helping Compton overcome his fear of judgment from others and harsh judgment of himself.
Worse. Judgment.
A cool nod here is after the boss fight concludes, the judge puppets are revealed to be controlled by Compton himself. It fits so well. Super fun mind.
Get moving.
Oh, really, Compton? I thought I would just start taking my time.
Fun fact, this level idea actually stemmed from a game idea called The Gods Must Be Hungry. This was a game developed during Double Fine's annual 2-week game jam, Amnesia Fortnite. The idea came from Asif Siddiqui, who was actually part of the documentary crew for Psych Odyssey, but in the end went on to participate in multiple Amnesia Fortnites and actually joined the Double Fine dev team to work on Psychonauts 2 as a level designer. Asif, if you happen to see this, you're the man, and I really want to play Armored Slug. That shit was neat.
Come in?
Okay, this one is for all you real Psychonauts out there. Psy-King's Sensorium is probably the most visually stunning mind in the game, with a heavy psychedelic theme and nod to the psychedelic era of the 60s. The art style and design choices here are spot on, with the mind taking place in a music festival. Everything from the way things move, to the sound design, characters, and story of the level are so on brand. It's very apparent that whoever was in charge of this level's design was no stranger to the psychedelic world. Hey Butters, what do you think of those visuals?
Neato.
The objective here revolves around helping Psy-King regain his senses in the form of rounding up band members and their instruments, with each band member representing a different sense. Vision Quest, Audio, Dr. Touch, Sniffles, and Tasty are all here. This is one of the longer levels in the game and also introduces one of, if not the toughest enemy, the Panic Attack. Almost as bad to deal with in the game as they are in real life. The level concludes with Psy-King fully manifesting himself and delivering a kick-ass performance with the band. And did I mention he's voiced by Jack Black?
Senses are the magic keys. They fill the holes I've had.
Things chill out a bit in Ford's minds, with story exposition being the theme across these. They're meant to highlight Ford's relationship with Lucy, aka Maligula, and their history together. We have a giant mailroom with Robot Ford and platforming on flying letters, a bowling world inside a bowling shoe complete with germs and bowling ball platforming, and of course, Hair World with lice representing Grulovian protesters that Maligula killed.
Those were peaceful protesters, Lucy.
From a story perspective, these mines hit hard, but gameplay, they play it pretty safe. Rolling around and platforming with the bowling balls was my favorite part of these, but other than that, pretty standard stuff. It's too bad we didn't get a bacon world with one of these.
Ooh, is that honey pepper boar bacon?
Alright, time for some heavy shit. This is Bob's Bottles, the mind dealing with traumatic memories, depression, self-isolation, and alcoholism. This level not only hits hard emotionally and psychologically, but also in gameplay and variety. There's so much to experience here, from traversing islands in an ocean, to navigating booze swamps.
Up in the air, Junior man.
Platforming on giant wedding cakes, and this shit. Not to mention, one of the crazier boss fights in the whole game. Look at this. The combination of the impactful story mixed with the creative environments and gameplay make this one of the overall best minds in the series. The idea of navigating these literal bottled up memories is so damn cool. I also love this detail with Lily where her voice is all messed up because Bob has seen her picture, but he's never heard her voice.
My dad sent him pictures for years.
He's never heard your voice though, has he?
How'd you know?
There's one of me inside of you.
Gross.
Cassie's collection is an interesting one. The objective here is to round up all of Cassie's different archetypes, which represent her in different parts of her life, and bring them all back together to form the real Cassie. The setting here is primarily a massive library with different sections and characters to interact with.
Oh my god! Pineapple and ham is an abomination! I knew you were a fell beast.
But there's also this sweet outdoor harbor town made of books and ink. I love the fish market dialogue.
Catfish will make you taller. Carp that looks like octopus. Terribly old and rotten fish here.
A neat gimmick with this mind is entering and platforming through books. You do this a handful of times throughout the level, and while it's just more platforming, it looks really cool. This mind also introduces the mental projection psi power, and this is a neat one. You summon this little paper archetype dude to help you out. He's just a silly, goofy boy. Cassie's collection concludes with a boss fight, and this is probably the least memorable fight in the whole game for me, but there's still some fun to be had. Solid mind overall.
Hi.
Memento mori.
Okay.
I don't have too much to say about Lucrecia's Lament. This is another mind heavy on the story exposition with some interesting sections and environments, especially the yarn and quilt world, but overall nothing too unique going on here. It's also one of the shorter minds in the game, only taking me about 30 minutes in this playthrough. The Aquato family flea circus was pretty neat and disturbing, but didn't do anything too memorable with the gameplay. You can't even kill the dad.
Rest my poor job. That's a little lower. Good idea. Make it seem more dangerous.
Alrighty, final mind in the game. Heavy spoilers with this one, but here we go. Fatherland Follies takes place inside the mind of Nick Johnsmith of the Mailroom, who is actually Gristel Malik, the former Zazarovich of Grulovia. Yeah, it's a lot. I really hope I said all that right. The main idea here is it's a small world style amusement park ride that basically tells Gristel's backstory and his plan to bring back Maligula. This was a super awesome way to show the player this dude's origin story while still keeping things interactive and fun. There's a lot of unique platforming on the ride sets, there's this crazy egg rolling bit, and even a small recreation of Camp Whispering Rock from the first game. With this being the final level, the combat encounters really have you utilizing all of your psychic powers, with every enemy in the game making an appearance. These were actually pretty cool. Also, there's some batshit insane visuals in this mind. Look at this. Proper final level. Of course, I can't mention this mind without cooming all over the absolute bop that is the Grulovia song. This shit has been stuck in my head ever since the game came out. You know, it's a really special thing when nearly every level in a game is unlike anything else out there and entirely in its own lane, and that's how I feel about Psychonauts 2. Seriously, every level here is original as fuck, and there really aren't any bad ones. If you like platformers and want something unique and maybe a little more mature, Psychonauts 2 all the way, baby. I chose to look at Psychonauts 2 because of the Psych Odyssey doc and the more mature themes in the mines, but Psychonauts 1 is not to be slept on. It's an older title, but still holds up with plenty more unique ideas and level design. I honestly might even prefer it over 2.
I am the milkman. My milk is delicious. Special delivery today.
So, have you ever played any Psychonauts games? What mind is your favorite? Bacon? Head on down to the comments and let me know. Especially you, Chris. I see you and I know you're high. They're coming for you, Chris. Thank you for watching, and I'll see y'all next week for more Super Mario 64 speedrunning tips. Later, nerds.
Strongest young boy in all the land, Queepy. Hey, Queepy. Queepy boy. Oh, Queepy. Hey, boy.
Queepy.